So, why is it so important? Why is PCOD such an important topic? It's because more younger and younger girls are getting affected. And, earlier times we probably started popping pills or having medicines when probably we were about 45, 50. But now we have 14-year-olds who go and start having medicines from such an early age. My daughter is 18, and when the gynac came to her school, all she was talking about was PCOD because that's what is happening nowadays. So why is it happening? What are the causes? What can we do about it? And why are we, getting it at such a young age? Is what all that will be covered in today's special talk. So, without much ado, let me invite Dr. Nandita Shah. Dr. Shah is the founder of Sharan. For all of you who are here first time joining a Sharan talk, Sharan stands for Sanctuary for Health and Reconnection to Animals and Nature. And Dr. Nandita started this 15 years ago, and she's a very unique doctor. If you go to her, she'll not give you a prescription filled with tablets, but she'll give you a prescription filled with food because she believes, like Hippocrates did, the father of medicine, that food is our actual medicine. And so many of us at Sharan have experienced so many changes, including reversal of PCOD, simply by changing our diet. She's also the author of the bestseller Reversing Diabetes in 21 Days, and also has been awarded the Nari Shakti Puraskar by our Honorable President. The Nari Shakti Puraskar is the highest award for civilian women in our country, and she got it because thousands of people have been able to reverse or prevent diseases simply by a change of diet. So over to you, Dr. Nandita, and thank you for addressing this very important issue today. Thank you.
Thank you, Reena, for that introduction. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to share my slides now. And I just want to say a word about Sharan. Sharan stands for Sanctuary for Health and Reconnection to Animals and Nature. And why reconnection to animals and nature? Actually, we have to think, why are we getting so sick these days? Because we're disconnected. In nature, we know how to heal. Our body right now knows how to heal, but we're not listening to our body. We're listening to doctors and, reading articles or anything else, but we're not listening to our body. Our body knows how to heal. And I'm just going to help you reconnect to your body so that anyone who has PCOD, and I just want to take it a step further to other hormonal disorders too, any one of you can help yourself get better. Now, PCOD stands for polycystic ovarian disease. And as Reena said, so many people have it today. Today, PCOD affects 1 in 10 women. When I became a doctor, hardly anyone had PCOD, but now it's become very common. Now, that time, maybe not so many had it because they were not diagnosed with it, but today it's really become very common because so has infertility. We have infertility clinics everywhere. So let's understand what is PCOD and what are its symptoms. PCOD stands for polycystic ovarian, and here on the right hand side you can see a healthy ovary, but on the left hand side you can see an ovary filled with cysts. Our ovary actually produces one ovum every month, and that's released into the uterus and goes out with the menstrual periods, or it stays there if that uh, that ovum is fertilized. However, in polycystic ovarian disease, multiple ovules are released and they become cystic. And this causes a number of symptoms like irregular periods, hirsutism, that means hair on the face and hair on the arms or legs, unwanted hair. prone to diabetes, and prone to infertility, and prone to acne and oily skin and weight gain, and prone to heart disease and migraines and uterine cancer. And this, of course, this happens in young girls these days, but also we don't want to, especially in the pandemic, we don't want to get any other disease like diabetes or cancers or heart disease just because they make us more susceptible to COVID 19, right? So, why not think about how we can be at our highest health just by making dietary changes? Now, the diagnosis of PCOD is often made by physical examination or even just symptoms. When the gynec examines physically, they can feel that polycystic ovary. Also, blood tests like the levels of testosterone or certain other hormonal tests, and finally, ultrasound, which could show that cystic ovary. And I do want to say that polycystic ovarian disease and polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, can be taken interchangeably almost, but polycystic ovarian disease is just a hormonal imbalance, whereas polycystic ovarian syndrome is an actual endocrine problem. Now, let's just discuss this in the wake of hormonal issues in general. Why? Because many hormonal issues come together. Like, for example, polycystic ovarian disease can come with hypothyroid, or it can come with diabetes or other hormonal issues as well, right? So, let's see how we can get all of these better altogether. All the hormones in our body are orchestrated by the pituitary gland, which is a P-shaped structure at the base of the brain. And here too, this tiny P-shaped structure can be divided into two parts: the anterior pituitary and the posterior pituitary. And the anterior pituitary is looking after the hormones related to polycystic ovarian disease. Now, the pituitary gland orchestrates hormones all over the body. The parathyroids, which regulate the parathormone, the thyroid gland, which regulates the thyroid hormone, the adrenal glands, which regulate adrenaline and other hormones as well, the pancreas, which regulates the insulin, which controls diabetes, and then the testes in males and the ovaries in females. And also, these are not the only endocrine glands, there are more as well. This is just for simplicity. So you can imagine that if one hormone goes out of balance, since all of these are in an intricate balance, if one hormone goes out of balance, others will also go out of balance. And therefore, it's very important to regulate all the hormones in the body to get that hormonal balance. Now, what are the causes of hormonal issues in general and PCOD in particular? Number one is hormones themselves. If we have hormones unregulated entering our body, then we can get these diseases. And how do these hormones enter from outside? Number one, through food, through animal products and dairy. Now think about it. All animals, like ourselves, produce hormones. And all female animals, like cows or hens, produce estrogen and progesterone. And these hormones may be secreted in dairy. But other animal products, today animals naturally produce hormones, but animals are also injected with growth hormones and other hormones so that they grow faster, so that we can get our animal products cheaper and faster. But then this loads our body with hormones through these products. And then number two, non-organic plant foods. Nowadays everyone wants to make a quick buck. And if you have plant foods which are injected with hormones so that they grow faster, and particularly oxytocin, which is also a female hormone, then we are getting hormones through these plant foods as well. So animal foods can give us hormones, plant foods can give us hormones, and also medications can be hormones. For example, if someone's taking steroids, these are hormones. If vitamin D is also hormone. So if vitamin D is out of balance, then other hormones can go out of balance. Oral contraceptive pills are hormones from outside. And if someone's taking treatment for infertility or even PCOD, they may be taking hormonal medication. So we have to think about this, because, if we want to get rid of a problem, we can't solve it with any medication. Only our body heals. But in order for our body to heal, we have to remove all the causes of various problems. So now, in order for our body to heal PCOD, we have to remove all the hormones that may be entering our body from outside. So hormones is just one of the causes of PCOD. The number two cause is chemicals, because all chemicals or many chemicals are hormone disruptors. Now, how do chemicals enter our body? Number one, they could be found in food or water. Food, that means non-organic foods are sprayed with pesticides, or chemical fertilizers are used, so they may contain chemicals. Or number two, packaged foods. All those foods that last on the shelves forever. How do they last forever? Because food doesn't last this long. Because those packages contain chemicals often. And then ready-made foods. If you go to a restaurant, the chances are that they're adding a little bit of food coloring or MSG, or, even sugar. Sugar is just a chemical these days, right? The real substance is sugarcane juice. But nowadays, even non-organic jaggery has chemicals. So the chances are that they're adding some chemicals through our food. And then artificial sweeteners. For example, aspartame. Like if you have, sugar-free foods or sugar-free drinks, they may contain aspartame. So these are the ways that chemicals enter our body through food, but also water. So these are processed foods. Most of our supermarkets are full of processed foods, but these are the aisles that we should strictly avoid. Now, coming to water, which I mentioned earlier, water has chemicals in it these days, and that's because water seeps into the reservoir through sometimes garbage dumps, right? We are increasing our garbage every day, and this is dumped somewhere, and some of it is not organic, plastics, etc., which last forever. And these plastics contain chemicals, and these chemicals seep into the water and into our water reservoirs. And then animal products. If you're consuming dairy or meat, the chances are that the cows or the goats have been eating from garbage dumps. We see scenes like this everywhere. And if you're not from India, I know what you're saying. It doesn't happen to you, right? But that's not quite true, because Our seas and oceans are full of plastic, and even fish eat, even fish have microplastics in them. Now, you may be saying, I'm vegetarian, but do you know that these fish, all the excess fish, the bycatch, the fish that humans don't eat, is dried up and fed to animals in our food chain. Actually, even cows and goats in India, but cows all over the world are eating dried fish. So, if you're consuming milk, automatically there's some plastic in the milk, PCBs. And actually, there are organizations that have tested the amount of PCBs in cow's milk in India. The third chemical is medicines. We often don't think of medicines as chemicals, but they actually are, right? And so we should minimize our medicines. By taking medicines, nobody gets better. Just imagine if someone has diabetes, they are prescribed medicines. Over the period of years, their medicines get more and more. Do they ever get better with medicines? No. It's the same with PCOD. Nobody gets better with in PCOD with medicines. However, the symptoms may be controlled. The painful periods may be controlled. And then there are chemicals in personal care products. Have you ever looked at all those ingredients in your toothpaste? What about the soaps and shampoos and lotions and perfumes and hair dyes and deodorants and talcum powder and so on and so forth? Now, we think that our skin protects us and that all this is not absorbed through our skin. But have you ever seen that when your skin is dry and you just put some oil on the skin, it gets absorbed, right? So everything is absorbed through our skin. And then there are home care products, and we often don't think about them. And here are just some of them, but these also include agarbattis and air fresheners and those scented candles, and of course the phenyls and the window cleaners and the detergents and the stuff that we use to clean our toilets and so on and so forth. These are just chemicals that enter our body through inhalation. So we don't really think about them, but they are there. And of course, if we touch them, hopefully none of us are touching them, but sometimes we do touch those detergents and fabric softeners and so on, isn't it? And then there's the kitchen equipment. The non-stick Teflon is actually chemicals. And when you heat it, it enters our food. When you have a microwave, you might be heating your food in plastic or melamine, and then those chemicals enter our food. And aluminum vessels, aluminum is very soluble, especially in sour foods. So if you're cooking your dal in an aluminum vessel and you add tomatoes or lemon juice or tamarind or any of the other sour substances, then this can leach into your food. So chemicals are hormone disruptors and they also cause problems. Now the third one is excess fat. If you have excess fat on your body, then the fat holds on to hormones. And this prevents the PCOD or other hormonal disease to get better. And so Madhura, our nutritionist, is going to talk to you about how you can get rid of this excess fat by changing your diet. And then lack of fiber. All these foods that you can see here have lack of fiber. The meat, animal products never contain fiber. Or the French fries full of oil, or the white floured buns, right? So and of course the ketchup and the mustard, these don't have any fiber, and the cheese that you see on the side as well. So lack of fiber. Now we need fiber to clean our body and clean out the hormones, to hold on to the hormones and throw them out. And so we need to have a diet full of fiber that protects us from PCOD and other hormonal problems. And Madhura will be talking to you about how you can have that kind of diet as well. Now, let's say a word about the conventional treatment of PCOD. Usually, PCOD is treated with more chemicals. Chemicals cause PCOD, or more hormones, and hormones cause PCOD. So, it could be treated with a combination of birth control pills or progestin or other hormones. It could be treated with clomiphene, which is an anti-estrogen medication. Now, imagine, why would we treat someone with an anti-estrogen medication if we can just get rid of all the estrogen by taking out dairy from our diet, which is full of estrogens? It can be treated with letrozole, which is actually a breast cancer medication. It could be treated with metformin, which is a diabetes medication. And it could be treated with gonadotropins, which are hormones. Now remember, hormones and chemicals are causes of PCOD, and so we need not add to the hormonal or chemical cauldron. We need to get rid of these. So in summary, hormones in food and hormonal medications cause PCOD. Chemicals in food, in medicines, in personal care products, in home care products, and in the environment can cause PCOD. Now, I didn't mention the environment because we can't do much about it, but our environment is also polluted, isn't it? So we have to do everything that we can to reduce the environmental pollution. And that's why when I was young, PCOD was rare because the air was much cleaner. But look what we're leaving to our future generations, right? And that's why we also need to thank the pandemic, because the pandemic is helping us clean up the environment, isn't it? And then excess fat. Of course, where's the excess fat in our body coming from? The excess fat in our food, of course. And Madhura will be talking to you about that. And lack of fiber. 4 important causes of PCOD that if we get rid of, we can actually simply get rid of PCOD without any medication. And I want to tell you that when I was young, I was a vegetarian, and I used to have very painful periods. But when in the early 1980s, I started becoming vegan, and I became completely vegan in the late 1990s. And I found that all these period pains just vanished. Wow, if I had known this in all those painful days before, I would have been so happy. I used to miss school because of period pains. Now, Sharan is committed to building a culture of health, and we believe that most of our diseases can be prevented and reversed just through diet. And so I'm going to hand this over to Madhura to tell you how you can reverse these kind of diseases. But before that, we are going to have a testimonial.
So the next speaker is Mrs. Prachi Jain, and she was one of my patients. She was working as a teacher in a very reputed school, and she was not able to conceive. So let's just hear from her that how a whole food plant-based lifestyle helped her in this journey. Over to you, Prachi.
Okay. Thank you, Madhura. Thank you, Dr. Nandita. So just as Madhura said, I've been a school teacher for quite a long time. And I had PCOD since I started getting my menstruation cycles. And I never paid attention to it as, okay, it would happen someday later, it would get normal. My main worry started when I was trying to conceive, and this PCOD was affecting it. As it said, polycystic syndrome, where I had so many cysts in my ovaries that every time I had to, either it would not work out or I had to take medications. I went to like more than 4 to 5 gynecologists, and everybody had put me into multiple treatments. Name treatments, I would just specify, it was like follicular studies. By going through Dr. Nandita's slide, I realized it was letrozole, the medicine which was given to me, the breast cancer tablets. Every month, I had 7 cycles of follicular studies, and at every cycle, I was given that medicine in the beginning. Now, this medicine had multiple side effects on me, which gave me, of course, the first thing was excess weight. Secondly, what I got was migraine. As not to forget, I used to have a painkiller in every wallet, every bag that I used to carry, so that I don't miss out ever with my pain. Then I had last two item was my anxiety, fear, when would happen, when I would conceive. It added on more and more and more and more of anxiety. I was literally heartbroken and just disappointed about. I started cursing my own health, that why am I not able to conceive? Is my health, my body so unfortunate that I cannot conceive? And then I was introduced to Madhura. She actually told, and it was exactly the time when I was so disappointed. She said, "You have tried everything. Let's try this last thing." These were actually her words. And to be very frank, I thought, okay, let's give it a try. I was not keen on going on it. I did not know how long I will go through it. I said, since I'm taking some medicines, let's try this as well, because I wanted to try. I became a vegan. I went on this plant-based food in May 2017, and December I conceived, 2017. And today I have a 2 years old son. So yes, and now again, no problems in pregnancies, no problem in the cycle. Every month it is perfect. I have lost 10 kgs after that. So yes, it has really, really worked wonders to me. And I now can really understand how what you eat affects your entire body. Your thinking, your lifestyle, your body, everything is on what you eat. That's all I have to say. And I really thank Madhura and the entire team for that.
Thank you, Prachi. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and congratulations
Thank you.
for all the benefits that you have achieved. Now
Yes.
we will go over to Madhura. Madhura is our nutritionist at Sharan, and she is an expert when it comes to women-related issues as well. And I think I will ask Madhura to take us and explain to us what are the changes practically that we can make in order to heal ourselves if we have PCOD or any other hormone related disease, or maybe even to prevent it. Okay, over to you, Madhura. Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. Welcome to this amazing talk. Dr. Nandita has already taken us through the causes of PCOD, and we heard it from Prachi also that we can really, if we follow a correct lifestyle, we can resolve all hormonal related issues just by changing your diet. So today I'm just going to take you through how you can resolve PCOD with nutrition. But before I go there, I would just like to tell you a little bit about my story and my experience with PCOD. So I got my menstrual cycle very early in life. I was only 10 years old in fifth standard, and at getting it at an early age had a lot of physical and mental effect on me. I was very socially awkward. Also, my periods were very painful. I'm from a Konkani Goan family, so you all can imagine a lot of fish and a lot of meat was there in the diet, and that's why my periods were very, very painful when they started. As years passed on, as I got into my teenage years, my periods started getting very scanty. They were very rare and few. Like in a year, I used to only get my menses for about 3 to 4 times. And as days passed, it was getting more and more worse. My mother, being a doctor, she actually, like, I went through a treatment. I have gone through like hypnosis and everything, like whatever could be done to regularize the periods. I was also put on to contraceptive pills just to get the flow at every 28 days, but it did not work. And the side effects of contraceptives, as most of y'all may be knowing also, it's you put on tremendous weight. There's a lot of water retention, and you are always hungry. You're craving for a lot of greasy and unhealthy food. So I started putting on weight. At the age of 16, 15 or 16, I was almost 68. I used to oscillate between 68 to 72 kgs, and that was like huge. Had become huge because of the pills. So finally, I stopped them, and I really didn't, it really didn't work for me. After my marriage, when my first pregnancy was a big accident because I didn't even come to know, because my periods were so irregular that I missed out on even knowing that I was pregnant. And I only came to know in the 22nd week or at the beginning of the fifth one, when the movement of the baby starts. So it was like, it was the first pregnancy got very traumatic because of that, because I was not mentally prepared. But after delivering my first child, after the second child also, my husband got the whole food plant based lifestyle home. And since then, my periods have regularized. Like it's become a 35-day cycle. And it's so regular that I don't even have to look at the calendar. It's like that. It's become very regular. And I have lost a lot of weight. So from 87 kg woman, I'm now down to 59, 60 kgs, and these are my two beautiful kids. They're little grown up now, but this is how my family is, and we all are on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. So let me just quickly tell you how this lifestyle can help you. So the two major components that influence any hormonal cycle from the nutrition are fats and fiber. A high fat, low fiber diet can actually create a lot of hormonal imbalance issues. It's also seen because of the low fiber, there's a lot of acidity in the body, and acidity breeds a lot of diseases. So it's very, very essential that we take care of these two components in nutrition. So as Dr. Nandita also rightly pointed out, excess fat causes PCOD. So it's high time that we think about cutting down the fat in the food. Studies have also shown that a 5% reduction in fat can really improve your hormonal profile. So we just need to take care of reducing the fat. Now, how do we reduce the fat? So first, let's understand where we are getting this fat from. So most of the fat in our diet comes from animal products. So even if you're a vegetarian, you are getting the fat from dairy. Non-vegetarian people get a lot of the fat from the meat, the eggs, and all these non-veg foods that we are consuming, which are very high in fat and in protein. There is no other nutrition that is there. These foods are also very low in fiber. The other source of fat is the added oils, the oils that we add while cooking. So they are just 100% fat. There is no other nutrition. So even 1 teaspoon, one drop just contributes to a lot of fat in the food. When it comes to processed foods or the way we cook, both these things together, they are very high in fat. And fat is very addictive, right? So if I open a packet of chips right now, it's impossible to just pick up one chip and finish. Like, it will be like you will crave for more, you will ask for more. One packet gets over, we move on to the other one. So fried foods and processed foods are highly addictive and full of fat. Also, when it comes to animal products, they are loaded with external hormones. Like a cow is made pregnant by injecting hormones. Dairy, the milk that we get from that cow is loaded with hormones. So once we exclude these animal products, we are also excluding these hormones which create a havoc in our body. Then the third component is fiber. Like fiber, I think, is the most important nutrient in our diet. And most of the times, the conventional way that we are cooking right now, we lose out on a lot of fiber because we are peeling our vegetables, we are polishing our grains, we are not even having, enough whole fruit, and it's very difficult to see high levels of fiber in the diet in today's world. Fiber also acts like a cleansing agent, so it acts like a broom. So if there is excess toxins, excess chemicals, excess hormones, cholesterol, fat, anything in the body, the fiber actually binds to it and cleanses out of the body. So we have to focus on increasing fiber in our diet. So let's see how we can do that. So we need to include a lot of whole vegetables and whole fruits. So what I mean by that is only peel vegetables and fruits that you can peel with your fingers. Whatever you need, you know, you need a knife or a peeler, do not peel that. So for example, you can peel your banana, or you can peel, say, a papaya or a watermelon. But you cannot peel an apple, you cannot peel a chiku, you cannot peel a pear. So let's leave the skin on it. What happens by that is when you peel, we lose about 97% of nutrition. So you end up eating more when there is no fiber in it. When there is more fiber, we kind of, the satiety levels are higher and we don't overeat. So the nutrient intake, the fat intake, everything is under control. When it comes to grains, let's have unpolished grains. So whole grains like millets, whole millets, whole rice like brown rice, even when you're having oats, instead of having instant oats, have rolled oats or steel cut oats. So when it comes to dal, you can see it in the picture here, it's best to have the whole urad dal or at least the split urad dal with the skin instead of the white one. So you have more unpolished grains and unpolished pulses. Your seeds and nuts, everything needs to be with the skin on it. Do not soak your almonds and remove the peel because you're losing out on a lot of essential fiber. So that's where we get into. So this is the Sharan's 5-point plan that is very, very important when we are looking at our diet. And this is not only for hormonal issues. This is like one lifestyle for all the issues that you're facing right now. So whenever you're picking up any food on your plate, first it should be completely plant-based. Everything is coming from plants and nothing is coming from animals. So even if you're buying any packets of food, please read the labels and see to it. Not only the front of the packet, but even behind, like whether there is, anything, milk solids or anything under that. So it has to be completely plant based. Second, everything needs to be whole. As I showed you on the previous slide, like fiber is very important and we need to have it in high amount. So everything unpolished. So that also includes oil and sugar. So why oil and sugar? Because it's an extracted product. It's 100% fat or 100% empty calories. There is nothing that you really get from it. So we are excluding oil and sugar also. Third is organic because we don't need any more chemicals. Chemicals, as explained earlier, are hormone disruptors. So as far as possible, even in a pandemic situation right now, we are getting organic delivered to the doorstep. So if you seek, you will find. Try to find the vendors in your area. On the Sharan website, we have under resources city-wise directory. So go to it and see whether you will get organic in your city. And vitamin D and B12 are very, very important because these are the two nutrients that we are not getting from food. Vitamin D is a sunlight nutrient, and right now we are not getting enough sunlight. And vitamin B12 is generated by bacteria, and we are living in an overly sanitized world. Like we are sanitizing continuously, we are constantly cleaning everything with chemicals and so we are not getting. So it's needed that you supplement this. Again, you can go to the Sharan website, lot of free information there. Go to the Try Vegan section, see what your levels are, and accordingly, please supplement yourself. If you're not able to do it by yourself, we have consultations happening. Please go to the website and book a consultation and see that we can help you out in that. So we need to make a paradigm shift because the lifestyle that has given us this hormonal issue of PCOD is not the lifestyle that can really cure it. So we need to make a shift from chemical foods to organic foods, refined foods to whole foods, processed foods to fresh foods, animal foods to plant-based foods, and artificial foods to natural foods. Now this list may seem very, very exhaustive and, like, oh my God, I have to do such huge job to, overcome my problem. It's not very difficult. We are doing a lot of amazing cooking workshops right now. And even if you go to the website, a lot of amazing recipes are there. A lot of free information is there. Please do read up on how you can make the shift. It will all be there. So if now I'm telling you to give up fat and I'm telling you, you have to, like, we always wonder, like, how will I have my delicious food, right? So the substitutes that you can use for fat is you can do coconut, peanuts, whole peanuts, nut seeds powder, nut seed butter, and avocados. If you're a baker like me who enjoys baking and want to bake your amazing cakes, you can also do it with applesauce, vegetable puree, and coconut milk. Now, coconut milk is not very high on fiber. It does have a little bit, but yes, we are throwing away the fiber. So do use it judiciously, and it's like a treat. So instead of having these bakery laden, like full of sugar and fat and refined flour cakes, you can use coconut milk as a treat and make your own amazing cake. So to increase the fiber and also like amazing live foods, because we are usually eating so much of cooked, and by cooking we are almost kind of removing the nutrients from the food. So include a lot of greens, lot of microgreens, fruits like whole fruits, whole vegetables, sprouts, grain, pulses, beans. So these are like activated foods which really help you to fill up also, and they help in cleansing and detoxing also. So if I'm giving up on sugar, so how will I have my desserts? You can have some high fiber sweeteners, like you can include dates, apricots, raisins, figs. All these can lend the sweetness, and because they are high fiber, you will not overeat. It's not addictive. It's not like having a piece of cake which is full of sugar and then you end up eating one more piece. This will give you the satiety and also help you in overcoming the craving for sweets. So you can make all these delicious sweets, the halwas and the laddus and the pedhas and kaju kalis, everything can be made whole food plant based. So let me just run you through how you can follow this diet in a whole day, right? Now, tea and coffee is one of the things that most of us have when we get up. And tea and coffee is also a very highly processed food, right? It goes through a lot of chemical processing, a lot of refinement, a lot of fermentation is happening, and then we have it. It's loaded with tannins and caffeine, which is very, very acidic and not conducive for creating a good environment in the body. Like the hormonal imbalance doesn't get resolved. So how can you replace your tea and coffee? You can make an amazing herbal infusion. Basically, you just have to boil some mint leaves or lemongrass and ginger or any of these spices like cardamom and cinnamon and water, and have that if you like a warm cup of tea in the morning. Follow this with an amazing glass of green smoothie. The goodness of green smoothie is, it just adds a lot of fiber to your entire day. It has the goodness of calcium, protein, everything, and it actually alkalizes your body in the morning. You're woken up after an acidic fast. It helps in making your body alkaline. You just have to take about 2 to 3 bananas, add a handful of greens. If your bananas are not sweet enough, just 1 or 2 dates, blend it with little water, and make your smoothie delicious. Just rotate the greens. Don't have, because we find spinach so much in the market that we end up having that every day. Just rotate your greens, add different flavors like lemon zest and lemon juice, some cinnamon, some cardamom, and you will have an amazing glass of smoothies. The greens are the most important part. It's not only the fruit, to increase the fiber content, and you will be absolutely satisfied for the day. You can improve your meals by adding a lot of colorful unpeeled vegetables, having whole beans. So make your food very, very interesting. You don't need to have dull, bland, boring meals. You can really have amazing, nutritious, healthy meals like parathas and chilas. You can have a whole plate of wholesome food without any oil, a lot of fiber in it, a lot of salads, and make it delicious. You can have plant-based chas, you can have plant-based curds. A lot of wonderful recipes are there on the website. Also, we have an amazing basic class where all this is taught. So if you can go online, you will find it. It's in Hindi and English as well. For snack time, you can have some sprouts chaat, or you can have some roasted chana with the skin. So this not only satiates you, but it is very, very interesting and delicious. At night, you can have a nice bowl of soup, like a pumpkin soup or tomato soup or mushroom soup with the fiber in it, with along with a colorful a colorful salad. So all these colors of the rainbow also add a lot of antioxidants to your meal, which help in healing. You can have some one pot dish like your millet rice, or some parathas or some wraps, or just stir fry some vegetables with tofu in it, and it will really, really help you to feel full. So now that I have covered nutrition, let me just also quickly give you a few tips on, because there are other factors also, right? You can't only just focus on food, though it makes like a majority of the healing journey. So as I said earlier, when you cut down on your fat, or even a 5% drop in fat improves your hormone profile. So include a little bit of exercising so that it helps in burning the fat and increasing the muscle tone, and this will also help in basically relaxing you and secreting the happy hormones so that you start feeling better. Stress is another thing because stress adds on to the hormones in the body, right? And reducing animal products is one way of reducing stress also, because animals are stressed when they are killed, right? The flesh that we are eating is full of the stress hormones that they have gone through because they are being killed in front of one another. So if we get that out and we manage our own stress by, there are a few ways that you can do that. So first, definitely eat well, connect socially, meditation, sleep well, exercise, some time in nature. So if you do all these things, you will feel much better and your stress will be managed. A lot of positive thinking also helps in controlling, the secretion of unwanted hormones in the body. So if we can just focus on positivity and few affirmations for, your menstrual cycle or whatever hormonal problems, like for thyroid or for everything, you can actually write an affirmation for everything that you're going through, and trust me, you will start thinking well for yourself, and it really helps in healing. Sleep is very important. I can't stress enough of it, because that is the only time your body heals, and that is the only time when you actually give your body the whole time to just go through the whole process of healing. So do focus on whatever time you're sleeping. It can be 3 to 4 hours, 6 to 8 hours, but good deep sleep is really needed for healing. So, as a summary, for healing or getting yourself cured of PCOD, this is what we need to remember: no animal based or processed food, increase the fiber and decrease the fat in your meals, check your vitamin D and B12 levels, please do some exercise and manage your stress, and practice some affirmations, and like really sleep well, and this will help you to overcome the problem. So thank you so much, and this was from me. Now I would like to introduce one of my colleagues from the Sharan team, Anjali Tejani, and she was a person who was in the corporate lifestyle, and she also had her share of hormonal problems, which she overcame with the whole food plant-based lifestyle. So let's hear her story. Over to you, Anjali.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Um, my name is Anjali Tejani, and in 2014, actually, I had developed piles very badly that doctor wanted me to operate. Uh, I didn't want to go for operation, and somebody had introduced me for this whole plant-based diet. So I went into this diet to try it out and see how it changes my life. And to my surprise, not only it cured my piles, I had a very irregular period since my childhood. It was normal to have 32-day cycles. And I even had a hormonal treatment in my young days, I remember. And also, by having periods, I used to have one day before the period, I used to have a lot of cramps that I had to sleep, take a hot water bag and sleep. Luckily, I was not on medication or anything on for that purpose. But yes, I had a painful period also. Over a period, I got married in 2004, and I had a healthy lifestyle in that way. But somehow we were not. I was not conceiving. Though me and my husband both were working people, and we were not so much keen on having kids, and we were okay with if it was nothing like that. So we never bothered, never thought of even going and looking out the reasons. The moment I took into whole plant based diet for my piles, slowly and steadily in 6 months period, my periods became regular. Means it came to proper 28-day cycles. And not only that, even the periods were no more painful. Like I would not even realize that I'm in period. It was that normal. uh, uh, and even seeing me, my husband also changed his diet, his lifestyle, and also we were staying in a place where there were a lot of pictures of Lord Krishna and Yashoda. So indirectly there used to be a lot of affirmations on on about having a child or a baby, which was not on purpose, but was happening somewhere back in the background. And there was no, I was not taking any kind of distress of having a child or not having a child. We were married for 12 years, so it was okay with me and with my husband completely. Suddenly, in a span of 6 8 months of following this diet and being on this diet, it really changed the system, the balance, hormonal balance in both of us, that I actually conceived naturally at the age of 39 years old. That was after the 12 years of my marriage. So it was really a elated moment, and I strongly believe that only this and this diet can make a difference. And I, for my entire pregnancy, I followed this whole plant-based diet. I had a normal delivery. I had hardly any pains in delivery. Like, there were normal pains, but comparatively, like waiting for your child to come out for 12 hours, 18 hours, how the woman go under labor. Mine was a very easy one. Um, I really thank God for having a baby. Is like a miracle, and I would thank Dr. Nandita, Reina, and the entire Sharon team who have actually introduced me to this whole plant-based diet and changed my lifestyle. Till date, my cycles, like today I'm 43 years of age, and my cycle is still regular. Still, I'm having on 28-day cycle, and I have no cramps or any such sort of in my period. That's it for me.
Thank you, Anjali. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your story. And it's definitely a change of diet which can make such a big difference.